Hello friends, welcome back. This is Nima again, and we're gonna make a card for Craft Roulette episode 268. The project is Card for a Student. The colors modern, element is clothing, and for the random is an abstract blob. And immediately I got this idea of doing some kind of big splatters and blobs, colors, abstract colors. And I apologize that I can't remember the name of the person that I did this. It was something that I was scrolling in the web and can't even remember if it was in YouTube or it was in Instagram, but I saw someone doing something similar. So I'm not taking the credit. I know someone did it, but I can't remember exactly who did it. If I happen to remember at some point, I will update the information and I will give the credit because, again, I apologize that I can't remember. So I'm going to use this graduation cap as the clothing, and it will be a congratulation card for a student with modern colors using this abstract blob. So let's do it. So for the colors, I'm using watercolors. These are Rubens watercolors, and I'm using very bright colors. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to bring this tray in here because I'm going to make a mess in here. And I have my white card. I'm using a card. This card is going to be, it's an A2 card. This is not watercolor paper, so we'll see how it works. And I have cotton balls that I already wet them in water, and I'm gonna drop them in the colors. I want those to absorb the colors. I might have to add some extra color in there, and we'll see how that works. For now, I'm just gonna use them. I think I'm gonna have to add more color. I have my watercolors super wet. Ooh, that was big in there. Super wet. Got my water in here. And I already have colors on the bottom. So I'm gonna add extra color on the top, And I'm gonna add more water. You know, I might add extra different colors, different shades in there. Like the green, I can add some of that pretty green for the blue. Let's add some of the orange in here. Whoops. Well, you get the idea now. The yellow. Let's add more of that pretty green. And if you hear that, that's me cleaning my brush. Go a little bit with that. It's kind of a pink magenta. All right. I'm gonna add more water. I want that really, really wet. And I have not done this before, so who knows how this is gonna be. For now, I'm just gonna drop this in here. And I'm thinking I should add a little more water just to make the paper a little more you know, soft. And this is what I'm gonna do in here. All right, it looks to me like blobs. I might do a little more of. So that's my blob of colors. But now that I'm here, I'm just gonna add a little more of this. I do have some extra color in here. Just to move it along, plus add some splatters. That green is very pretty, but I do have, it kind of didn't splash that much, so I can add a little more. I can force it a little. I'm thinking if, and maybe, I love the blue, the way, and even the pink in there. For the yellow, let's add some splatters in here for the yellow. Okay, maybe we'll mix it a little bit, like a cross and a little bit in there. Yeah, kind of happy with that. A little bit of the blue on the top. Same thing with the green, kind of cross in here. Yep, I like that. I'm gonna get this dry and I'll be back. So here's the way that the paper came out. I love the colors. I like them. Very bright, very modern. But at the same time, it is really warped. This paper is, it wasn't watercolor paper, I told you. So here is what I'm gonna do. I have this mat that is for ironing. And I'm gonna put this in between my parchment paper. And I'm gonna use my little press in here. And I'm gonna make it flat. All right. And in that way, I mean, it was already dry, but also we make it as flat as possible. Yep, perfect. All right. So that was just a little trick that I like to use from time to time when I have things that they're really, even the watercolor paper, I press my watercolor pictures sometimes when I want to make sure that they're really flat. And then I put them in between this big books that I have, and yeah, just to make sure that they're all flat. Right. Okay, so my card is dry and as flat as possible. Something else that I'm going to do is that I'm going to make it like a trim in here. I'm thinking between that one or maybe a flat one. You know, I think I'm going to go with this one in here. Yep. And I'm also going to cut the congratulations that it will be in black. And I wanted to use this one, but then now I realize that it's too small. So I have a die cut that it is a little larger, three-dimensional, a little bit three-dimensional, that I'm gonna use instead. And I'm gonna cut all that and I'll come back. So I have all my pieces in here. I cut a mat in black. And I cut the congratulations twice and I stacked them together. Also, I'm gonna use on your big day, a little message. And this is the graduation cap that is gonna go somewhere around here. And for that graduation cap, I added a border using the Sharpie around. And the tassel, and by the way, my fingers are all painted. I cut it in gold and it's kind of three-dimensional. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a little bit of glue in here. And I'm gonna go around turn around this one. All right. And then also part of the kit is this little border that I'm gonna add around. It's the little ring. And I'm gonna let this dry a little bit in here. In the center, I have this button that I'm gonna add in here. Oh, I forgot to add this part before it gets dry. Yeah. Let's add that part in here before it gets completely dry. Oops. Yeah, that's fine. Actually, you know what? I have it backward. This is supposed to be on the other side, hanging on this side. Okay, that's why I couldn't get it. It's okay. We're allowed to make mistakes and to fix them too, as long as you can fix them. All right. So let's wait a second until all this gets dry, and then I'll come back to put the entire card together. Okay, so the next thing that I need to do is attach the tassel to the cap, and I have a little bit of a gap in here. So we just have to insert that and put a little bit of glue, of course, otherwise it will fall off. Insert this in here. Let's see. Let's press a little. Okay, and then the cap has these borders in here. And what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna add some foam tape just to make sure that it stays it's like lifted a little bit, no? Like a cap should be. Let's add a little bit on each corner. All right. And I want to position this pretty much like on this end in here. I don't want to cover all those splashes. I want to make sure that everything is visible. A little bit of the pink. Let's put the congratulations for now in here where I want it, just to have an idea where this is going. Perfect, so we can see all the colors. All right, and then congratulations. Let's add a little bit of, and I like to add it with the brush. I just put a little bit of glue in, just right in here, and use a brush to add this to the and that way I don't have a big mess. I will anyway. Can put it in here. Okay, a little extra glue in here. Congratulations, and then I have this little message on your big day. And then I'm going to add some gold bling. So let me add some gold little things in here. I'm gonna add one in here, one in here. Kind of like to add them around the focal point or my message. They have glue, but I like to add a little extra just in case. Let's add another big one in here. Glue everywhere. All right. I have another one in here. All Okay. And then I have, let's put another big one in here. And this is my card. Let's review the parameters in here. So as the parameters, we have the card for a student that is graduating, and the clothing, the graduation cap, modern, all those colors, and abstract blobs, all those splashes of colors that I did in there. So this is my card for episode 268, and I hope you like it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.